Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today
Hi.
into a Substack newsletter.
Always fun.
This one is called Xenohumanism Part 1,
Hmm.
Enactive SemioCybernetics, or Phagocytosis.
Wow.
So,
Catchy title.
it is a catchy title, yeah. But honestly, the ideas in this newsletter
I've read it. Yeah.
they're really something.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about language,
Okay.
human consciousness, and the future of humanity.
That's a lot to cover.
It is a lot. But the author, Supamalamans,
Oh, he's a good writer. Very
he really is.
thought-provoking.
Yeah, he uses these really evocative analogies to kind of get you thinking about these.
Unseen forces at play.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's trying to map out all the,
Hidden influences, maybe?
the hidden influences that are shaping how we think and how we experience the world.
Right. Like, are we really in control,
Yeah, that's a huge question, right? It's like, is language something that we created or is it creating us?
It's a good question. I mean, you think about it. You learn language as a kid.
Right.
And it just becomes part of you.
Part of your thinking,
Yeah.
your whole worldview.
Exactly. And that's kind of what he's getting at, this whole idea of agency. Are we really in control of our own minds?
I mean, sometimes I wonder about that.
Me too.
Yeah, it's like, are we being molded by something much bigger than ourselves?
Yeah. And, he uses this really vivid metaphor in the newsletter.
Right.
He talks about a shadow in his mind.
Oh, I remember that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
A force he can sense but can't fully grasp, right?
Exactly. Like this hidden intelligence that's operating beneath the surface of his thoughts. Have you ever felt that? Like there are parts of yourself that you just don't fully understand.
Oh, absolutely. All the time.
Yeah.
Like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Or say that?
Right, exactly. And I mean, that's something that psychology has been exploring for ages, right? Like the unconscious mind.
Oh, absolutely.
The vast reservoir of thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, the things we're not even aware of. Yeah, that we're not aware of. So maybe this shadow he's talking about
Maybe that's it.
is kind of like a metaphor
Could be.
for that deeper hidden part of ourselves.
That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. And then he brings up this philosopher,
Huh.
Diogenes.
No, he was a character.
Right. Total character.
Yeah.
Like, famously rejected all societal norms.
Lived in a barrel, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Lived in a barrel, challenged authority. You name it, he did it.
So what's the connection? How does...
Well, that's what I thought, too. I was like, where is he going with this?
Yeah.
But the way Supamalan uses them, it's actually really clever.
Okay.
It's about how we deal with complex paradoxes.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of getting, bogged down in these endless debates,
Right.
Diogenes he chose to live his truth.
Yeah. He was all about action, right?
Exactly. Action and experience, less thinking, more doing.
And, sometimes that's the best way to learn, right?
Absolutely. It's like you don't need all the answers before you take that first step.
Yeah. Yeah, just do it and see what happens.
Exactly. Figure it out along the way.
Yeah, I like that.
And then things get really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
He starts talking about the nature of language itself.
All right.
And he brings up these two contrasting viewpoints,
Okay.
naturalism and anti-naturalism.
So, like, is language natural or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like with naturalism is the idea that language is just this innate human ability.
Like we're hardwired for it.
Exactly.
We're...
Like a bird knows how to sing, we know how to talk.
Right.
But then the anti-naturalists,
They see it differently.
oh, totally different. They're like, hold on a second. Language is a tool,
Oh, okay.
like a technology that we've developed.
And it's shaped our thinking, right?
Oh, absolutely. Think about like the internet, social media algorithms.
Yeah.
All of that is built on language.
Yeah. And that stuff's definitely shaping how we think.
It's shaping how we think, how we behave, how we see the world.
Maybe even how we see ourselves.
Yeah, it's crazy. So for them, language isn't just about communication. It's like this force that shapes reality itself.
That's a powerful way to look at it.
It is. It's a very powerful way to look at it.
Right.
But then that begs the question, if language is a technology,
Yeah.
can we upgrade it?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right. Like, can we change the way it shapes us, or are we kind of stuck?
Trapped in the web of words.
Totally trapped. And to illustrate this point, he uses this really unexpected analogy.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Mitochondria and chloroplasts.
Now we're getting into biology.
We are.
All right, refresh my memory. What are those again?
So mitochondria are these little structures inside our cells, and they're responsible for generating energy.
Okay, I vaguely remember that from high school biology.
Yeah. And chloroplasts are similar structures, but they're found in plant cells.
Right, for photosynthesis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what's so fascinating about both of them is that they were once independent organisms.
Really?
Yeah, like they were their own thing, but then they merged with other life forms.
So like a symbiotic relationship.
Totally symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
And they created these like new, more complex life forms.
And he's connecting that to us, to humans.
He is. That's what's so mind-blowing. He's suggesting that maybe humans are in a similar process of integration.
Integration with what?
With a larger force.
Huh?
And he even suggests it might be something non-human.
Hold on. Are you saying, like, aliens?
Well, he doesn't actually use the word alien,
Oh, okay.
but he's definitely pointing to the possibility that we're not alone in this evolutionary process.
That's pretty wild.
It is. It is pretty wild.
So, to recap,
Yeah.
we've got this shadow in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Language might be more like a technology than we realize.
Right.
And we might be merging with something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
This is a lot to take in.
It is.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
Well, now we got to explore the consequences of all this.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are we creating a beneficial partnership like those mitochondria?
Right.
Or are we on the path to being consumed, losing our individuality?
Yeah. He even uses the word philosophical zombies.
Okay, yeah, that part is a little creepy. We
Yeah.
definitely need to unpack that.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready for more.
Great, let's dive deeper.
Okay, so phagocytosis.
Yeah.
It's basically like,
Being consumed.
yeah, like imagine a single-celled organism
Okay.
engulfing another one.
Right.
That's phagocytosis in action.
Okay. So he's saying that could happen to us, like to humanity as a whole.
He's raising the possibility.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what-
it's not that far-fetched if you think about it.
I mean, in a way.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on what we're being consumed by.
Right. Like, what if it's technology?
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're so reliant on our phones, social media,
That's true.
always connected.
Yeah. Are we in control of that, or is it controlling us?
Good question.
I mean, sometimes I feel like
Yeah.
my phone's in charge.
I get it. And it's not just technology, right? Think about, like, the natural world.
Yeah.
This whole web of life,
Yeah.
we're just a small part of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Are we really in control of those forces?
I mean, no, not really.
Or are we at their mercy?
I feel like this is getting a little bleak.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah, it is.
But, you know,
He doesn't just
leave us hanging.
Okay.
He offers a solution.
All right, let's think.
Cultivate a symbiotic relationship with this larger force.
Okay.
Understand its needs and be of service to it.
But how do you even do that? Be of service to something so, I don't know, vast and undefined.
Yeah, it's a big question.
What language do you even use?
Right?
Like, how do you communicate with something that might be totally different from us?
Well, maybe that brings us back to language.
Okay.
Like, what if we need a new kind of language?
Okay.
One that can bridge that gap between human and non-human.
Like, become intergalactic diplomats.
Uh-huh. Maybe not intergalactic.
Okay.
But definitely, like, more tuned in
to
to the subtle languages of the universe.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Maybe it's tapping into those deeper levels of consciousness.
Oh, like the shadow.
Exactly. It could be a language of intuition, feeling, connection.
So less about imposing our will on the world and more about listening, understanding,
Forgetting.
trying to coexist
Yeah.
instead of conquer.
Exactly. And I think that's how we navigate this whole symbiosis versus phagocytosis thing.
Okay.
Find a way to connect without losing ourselves.
So it was like walking a tightrope.
Yeah, I like that.
On one side, there's this amazing potential for growth,
Right.
for emerging with something bigger. And on the other side, there's the risk of losing our identity.
Losing ourselves.
Yeah. And he uses this term,
Oh, yeah.
philosophical zombies.
That one's a little creepy.
I know. It is creepy. What does he mean by that?
So he's talking about a scenario where we become so integrated with these forces
Okay.
that we lose our ability to think for ourselves.
We just become like puppets.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Driven by impulses we don't even understand.
And our language, like, means nothing.
It's just empty symbols.
So it's like a loss of soul,
You could say that.
loss of agency. We just become part of the machine.
That's the fear. And it's a valid fear.
Yeah. Especially with how technology's advanced.
Yeah, you got AI, you got all this stuff that can manipulate us.
It makes you wonder, what does it even mean to be human in a world like this?
And that's where this whole concept of xenohumanism comes in.
Yeah.
It's like expanding our definition of human.
All right, I'm ready for it. Let's dive into xenohumanism.
Let's do it.
Okay, so xenohumanism.
It's a big word.
It is.
It's basically saying, like,
Okay.
we need to rewrite our definition of human.
Really rethink what it means to be human.
Yeah. Like, we're not the only intelligent beings in the universe, right?
Right.
Maybe our understanding of ourselves is, like, way too limited.
So it's not just about us anymore.
Nope.
It's about,
expanding the circle.
yeah, to include other intelligences, other forms of life,
Put in things we can't even imagine yet.
things we haven't even discovered.
Right, exactly. And it makes you think about how we're going to relate to all those other beings.
Aren't we going to try and, I don't know, control them?
Exploit them.
Or can we actually, like, coexist?
Learn from each other.
Yeah, evolve together. And that brings us back to that whole symbiosis versus phagocytosis thing, right?
It all connects.
It does, yeah. Are we going to merge with these other forces in a way that's good for everyone?
Right?
Or are we going to get swallowed whole?
I think xenohumanism is saying
Yeah.
the key to finding that balance is understanding that we're all connected.
But if we're merging with something bigger,
Yeah.
something that's not even human, does that mean we lose ourselves?
That's the question, isn't it? It's a common fear.
It is, yeah.
But remember those mitochondria.
Yeah.
They're still distinct entities.
Right.
But they're also part of something bigger.
So maybe we can do both.
Exactly.
Be ourselves and also be part of something larger.
Like being on a team.
Yeah. Okay. I like that analogy.
You got your own skills and perspectives, but you're also working together towards a common goal.
Okay, so that's like the essence of xenohumanism.
Finding that balance.
Yeah, integrating without losing ourselves in the process.
It's like we're on the verge of
a whole new era.
a new understanding of what it means to be human.
But that's kind of scary too, right?
It is. It's a huge unknown.
No roadmap, no guarantees.
That's what makes it so exciting.
I guess so.
We get to create the future.
Yeah, a future that's, I don't know, worthy of the name xenohuman.
I like that.
So what does all of this mean for us, like right now?
I think it starts with awareness.
Okay.
Paying attention to how we're connected to
So
everything.
everyone around us, other people.
Yeah. Recognizing that other beings have intelligence, have agency,
Whether they're human, animal.
and something we don't even have a name for yet.
It's like we need to expand our compassion.
Our responsibility.
Yeah.
Because what we do, it affects everything.
And maybe.
Maybe if we start living that way,
Yeah,
we can create a future.
where everyone thrives.
Exactly. Humans and the Xeno.
That's a good thought to end on.
It is.
Thanks for joining us today on this deep dive into xenohumanism.
Always a pleasure.
It's been a real mind bender.
A lot to think about.
There is. And, as you go about your day, keep these ideas in mind.
Yeah, what new possibilities do they open up? What challenges?
It's not about finding all the answers.
Right.
It's about asking the right questions.
And who knows, maybe in the process of asking those questions.
We'll discover something amazing.
About ourselves.
Yeah, about ourselves and our place in the universe.
I like that.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Keep pushing those boundaries.
and keep diving deep.